Hi everybody, my name's Holly and I work at the Brilliant Club. Today's session is going to be looking at university life and designing your dream timetable. The session aims are to explore what university has to offer on top of studying and to consider what a week at university might look like and how this differs from your week at school. At school, you learn about lots of different subjects, whether that's maths, English, history, geography, and you're in school 5 days a week for most of the day. Your school timetable might look a little bit like this, with lots of different subjects filling up each day. However, at university, instead of learning about lots of different subjects, you learn all about one subject that you choose in detail. As part of that subject, you can pick different topics that you are interested in to study. These are known as modules. For example, an English student might pick a module all about Shakespeare because that's what they're most interested in, whereas another student might pick one on how to write creatively. This means that within your subject, you can pick and choose the topics that interest you most. So, your weekly timetable might look a bit different to a student who is studying the same subject as you. Your timetable might also look quite different to a student who is studying a different subject as well. Do all subjects have the same amount of contact hours? No. A contact hour is the time that you are either in a lecture, a seminar, or a laboratory class, and different subjects have different amount of contact hours. For example, a science degree might have around 20 contact hours a week. This might be a mixture of lab classes, some lectures and some seminars, whereas an English or history degree might have around 8 hours a week. It's important to remember that even if your subject has less contact hours, this does not mean that it's less work. You are expected to study independently outside of your lectures and seminars. So this means picking up your work outside of the lessons in the library and learning more about it on your own. So what is a lecture, a seminar and a lab class? A lecture is when an expert in a subject presents to a large group of people, as you can see in the photo below. A lecture can be delivered to hundreds of people at one time, and it is normally one person speaking for the majority of the time. Whereas a seminar is a small group discussion, often on a certain topic, like Shakespeare within English, for example. It's often about roughly 10 to 30 people, and it's much more interactive than a lecture and allows students the chance to share their ideas and ask the lecturer specific questions. A lab class is a common part of a science degree. As you can see in the picture here, students are conducting experiments and they have to apply what they've learned in lectures in practice inside the laboratory. However, university is not all about studying, and your timetable is made up of much more than just your lectures, seminars or lab classes. For example, here you can see sports, cooking with friends in the evenings, meeting up with friends and socialising on and around campus, and spending time getting involved in different societies and clubs. We're now going to take a minute to think about what you like doing most in your spare time. Are you involved in any after-school clubs? Is there anything you like doing with your friends in your free time? Take a couple of minutes to write down the most important things to you and what you enjoy doing outside of school. Once you have written down what you enjoy doing, we're going to have a look at how these all fit into your university timetable. Your week at university can be made up of a huge mixture of studying your subject, playing sports, attending different clubs and societies, and socialising with your friends. Here we can see an example of a university timetable of a student studying English. As you can see, there's a mixture of lectures and seminars and also a reading group. They've got time in to study independently in the library, but also they've got tennis clubs, cooking with friends, going to the cinema, a whole afternoon on a Wednesday free for sports. They can also decide to take their lunch on different times, on different days, depending on what other things they have going on that day. We are now going to do an activity on creating your very own dream university timetable. What would you like this timetable to look like? We're going to have a think about the following questions whilst creating this timetable. I'd like you to think about what subject you would like to study the most. Would this be made up of seminars, lectures? Have you gone for a science where you might have to spend time in the lab? What sports might you like to play? Are there any clubs that you would like to be part of? And what would you enjoy doing with your friends? Earlier, we wrote down a few things that were our favourite to do outside of school, and it might be a good idea to look back at that list and include some of those activities in your timetable. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of flexibility at university of when you do different types of things. So as you're creating your timetable, have a think about when do you like to eat your lunch? What time of the day do you like studying the most? Do you prefer to get up early in the morning, or are you a night owl that likes to revise in the evenings? What else would you like to do in the evenings? Would you like to spend your free time with friends? Do you like to cook? Do you like to watch films? These are all things to include in your dream university timetable now. Once you have had a go at creating your dream university timetable, share this with somebody at home and tell them about what you created. Why did you pick the activities you chose? Which subject did you end up going for? And which day do you think you'd enjoy the most? Remember that university is not just about studying. There are loads of different things you can do. University timetables are quite different to school timetables, and you can pick and choose what this looks like. We hope that doing this timetable task has given you a chance to think about what you like doing the most and what you like studying, and has got you excited about going to university at some point in the future.